Welcome dear students. In this lecture we are going to discuss the factors affecting the enzyme catalyzed reactions. And the first factor is the substrate concentration. My dear students, the rate of enzymatic reaction is directly proportional to the substrate concentration, but only in the case when in the reaction mixer the substrate concentration already present, that is very low. So if a reaction has very low concentration of the substrate, then in that case the rate of enzymatic reaction will be directly proportional to the concentration of the substrate. But if in the reaction mixer the concentration of substrate is already very high, then the rate of reaction does not depend on the substrate concentration. Dear students, suppose this is a reaction mixer in which the blue dots, which are 10 in number, they are showing the enzyme molecules, and the red dots or circles, which are 5 in number, they are showing the substrate molecule. So in this reaction mixer the concentration of the substrate is less than the concentration of the enzyme. And my dear students, the 5 enzyme molecules will be busy with the 5 substrate molecules, while there are 5 more enzyme molecules which are free at the moment. They do not have any substrate molecule to deal with. So 5 enzyme molecules will catalyze or change the 5 substrate molecules into the products, and the 5 other enzymes, they are free. When you will increase the concentration of the substrate, suppose you add a 6th molecule of the substrate, then the 6th enzyme will also get busy. 7th molecule of substrate, 7th enzyme will get busy. 8th substrate molecule, 8th enzyme will get busy. So when you will increase the concentration of the substrate, then the number of molecules of the enzyme that will get busy with the substrate molecule, that will also keep on increasing, and then the rate of reaction or the speed of reaction will also be increased. But my dear students, there will be a stage when the concentration of enzyme will become equal to the concentration of substrate. In that case, if you will further increase the concentration of the substrate, then that will not have any effect on the rate of reaction. Why? Because now this stage is called as the saturation stage. All the active sites of the enzyme are busy, and when you will add more substrate, then no more enzyme will be available for the reaction to carry on. So when enzyme and substrate concentration becomes equal, that is the saturation stage, and at this saturation stage, now the reaction becomes zero order. Zero order means now you will increase the concentration of the substrate, but there will be no effect on the rate of the reaction. So we can also show it with the help of a graph. Suppose that on x-axis there is substrate concentration, on y-axis there is rate of reaction. So when the substrate concentration is increased, the reaction rate also increases, but then a stage reaches when this straight line will become parallel to the x-axis, which means that now the substrate concentration is increasing, but there is no effect on the rate of reaction. Why? Because that is actually the saturation stage, and at that stage the concentration of enzyme and that of the substrate, that has become equal to each other, and no more addition of the substrate affects the rate of the reaction. So that is the saturation stage. Before saturation stage, the rate of reaction increases with the increase in the concentration of the substrate. Why? Because when you increase the concentration of the substrate, more active sites, they become busy. So that is the substrate concentration. Now the second factor, it is the enzyme concentration. Now my dear students, suppose there is a reaction in which the concentration of enzyme is low as compared to the concentration of the substrate. Now what happens? There are more substrate molecules but few enzyme molecules. So few active sites will get busy with the substrate molecule, and when you will increase the concentration of the enzyme, then more active sites will get involved with the substrate molecules and the rate of reaction will increase. And my dear students, keep in mind that the rate of reaction is directly proportional to square root of the concentration of enzyme. Mean, when the concentration of enzyme, it is a practically or experimentally proved relation that when the concentration of the enzyme increases 4 times, then the rate of reaction doubles. So by increasing the concentration of the enzyme 4 times, the rate of reaction doubles. So it is experimentally proved that the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the concentration of the enzyme. But again, when the concentration of enzyme and concentration of substrate will become equal, so again saturation stage will reach and you will increase the concentration of the enzyme, but there will be no effect on the rate of the reaction. The third factor is temperature, which is a very important factor. Keep in mind that the rate of enzymatic reaction is directly proportional to the temperature. Then a temperature reaches at which the enzymatic activity is maximum, and that temperature is called as the optimum temperature. The optimum temperature for the enzymes working in the human body, that is 37 degrees C. And if you will further increase the temperature beyond the optimum temperature, then the enzyme starts denaturing. The denaturation of the enzyme takes place, which means that the structure of the enzyme is disturbed, and instead of increase in the rate of reaction, you will observe the decrease in the rate of reaction. Now, this can also be shown graphically. On x-axis, we have temperature. On y-axis, we have rate of reaction. So when the temperature is low, the rate and temperature, they are directly related. So here in this part of the curve, the rate of reaction is directly proportional to the temperature. And this is the point where the rate of enzymatic reaction is maximum, and the temperature corresponding to this point, that will be called as the optimum temperature. And for enzymes working in the human body, this optimum temperature will be 37 degrees C. But when there will be further increase in the temperature of beyond the optimum temperature, now in this case, this is the part of the curve which shows that now the rate is inversely proportional to temperature. Why it is inversely proportional to temperature? Because this part shows that when you will further increase the temperature more than the optimum temperature, then the denaturation or the disturbance in the structure of the enzyme takes place, that results in the decrease in the rate of reaction with the increase in temperature. As in the fever, when you feel fever in the body, then what happens? The temperature of the body increases, and this results in the denaturation of the enzymes in the body of the living organism or in your body. So keep in mind that during the fever, when temperature of your body increases, then the enzymes in your body, they start denaturing, and if the temperature is prolonged, then that results in a huge loss in the form of the denaturation of the enzyme, and you feel very weak during the high fever or during the prolonged high fever. So that was the third factor, which was temperature. And now the final factor, that is the fourth one, it is pH. Just like the temperature, all the enzymes, they require an optimum pH for their maximum efficiency. There are some enzymes that work in the acidic medium, just like the pepsin, which is present in the stomach. It works in the presence of the concentrated HCl at a pH 2 to 3. So it works in the acidic pH. And there are some enzymes that work in the basic pH, and there are other enzymes that work at almost neutral pH. So every enzyme works in its own range of the pH, either acidic, basic or neutral. But the pH at which the efficiency of an enzyme is maximum, that is called as its optimum pH. And my dear students, the optimum pH for salivary amylase, which is a carbohydrate digesting enzyme present in the saliva, the optimum pH for salivary amylase is 6.4. So salivary amylase shows maximum efficiency at 6.4. When you will change the pH, either you will decrease the pH from 6.4 or you will increase the pH from 6.4. This will result in the ionization of the amino acids, a very important point. When the pH is changed as compared to the optimum pH, this results in the ionization of the amino acid, especially those amino acids which are present at the active site of the enzyme. And this ionization then results in the overall change in the structure of the enzyme, and then the original substrate cannot even bind with the enzyme, and so the enzymatic activity that is reduced and the rate of reaction is also reduced. So that was the fourth factor. And my dear students, the final factor, fifth one, which we will discuss in the next lecture, but I just want to give you an introduction of this fifth factor, that is the inhibitors. Inhibitors are those substances that retard the enzymatic activity, that reduce the enzymatic activity by changing the structure of the enzyme. So inhibitors are the retarders of the enzymatic activity. They reduce the activity of the enzyme. Now, what is inhibition? What are inhibitor? How many types of inhibitors are there? That is the topic of the next lecture. And in the next lecture, we will be discussing the inhibition and its types. Till then, take care.